Today, we check out some of the finest consumer electronics technology money can buy that will turn your home entertainment system into the stuff dreams are made of. More people are choosing to lease because it offers freedom, flexibility, and a diverse set of options to fit their desired lifestyle. Could an apartment be in your future? We'll visit one community to see how this is becoming a growing trend. Mortgage insurance. Do you know what it is? We talk to an expert who gives us the bottom line on securing your dream home. This is the show all about you and your space, your home and surroundings. We are designing spaces.
Let's face it, we live in a fast-paced world. Between work and school, after-school activities, and things to do around the house, it doesn't leave much time for anything else. The time that we do have to ourselves, we just want to relax and spend time with our family and friends. It's at those times that home entertainment becomes really important to us. Hi, I'm Amber Milt, and on this episode of Designing Spaces, we're looking at ways to tech my space. And there's no better place to do it than right here in the beautiful new Bang & Olufsen showroom on Madison Avenue in New York City. Founded in 1925, Bang & Olufsen is the world's oldest luxury consumer electronics brand and has been producing state-of-the-art products for nearly 90 years. At Bang & Olufsen, home integration is an essential part of the way they think. In everything they do, they strive to create solutions that simplify and enhance the modern home. And with us today in this spectacular showroom is Kathy Thornton-Bias, President of Bang & Olufsen America. Welcome to Designing Spaces, Kathy.
Amber, thanks so much for having us.
So Kathy, can you tell us a little bit about how Bang & Olufsen's approach to technology is different than some other consumer electronics brands?
At Bang & Olufsen, our product development process is quite different than our competitors because we start first with the end customer, with our consumer, and we understand and do research on how the customer is living, what their lifestyles are like, and what problems they have in their home with regard to audio and video technology. Amber, technology evolves so quickly that it's important for us that our customers have a product that they can live with for many, many years.
Bang & Olufsen has prevailed for nearly 9 decades and has been producing iconic designs that have shaped popular culture year after year. And Kathy, what are some of the newest product offerings that are resonating with American consumers?
Well, Bang & Olufsen has always been known for 2 big ideas. One is iconic design, and the second is concert quality sound. And this year we've introduced an amazing new product, the BeoVision Avant television, which brings all of that together. In addition to being an amazing television, it's really more like a home entertainment center. You can stream your music, you can hook speakers up for multi-room sound, and it comes with one universal remote, which I'm sure customers will love. What's so great about this new television is that we have 3 different mounting options. There's a table stand, there's a motorized floor stand, and there's even a motorized wall bracket, which can swing to the left or right, depending on how you like to view television in your home. It has amazing cinematic picture quality, 4K ultra high definition, of course, Bang & Olufsen's famous sound and acoustics, and it's built into the most beautiful television on the market. So we're really excited to launch this in the US. It combines the best of Bang & Olufsen, choreographed movement, cinematic viewing, and concert quality sound. And it's a very good value for our customers.
Now, Bang & Olufsen is known for its sound quality, so let's talk about some of the new products in the audio department.
Amber, sound quality is a core competence at Bang & Olufsen and something that our customers have come to expect over the past 89 years. But I must say our new Immaculate Wireless Sound Collection has been very well received by customers, not only for the robust performance, but also for the iconic design. People are looking for less complication in their homes and more simplicity. And wireless allows us to do that. It takes all the clutter out of people's homes, and finally, choosing quality speakers doesn't mean you have to compromise on design. The new BLAB 18 speaker is Bang & Olufsen at its best. Astounding acoustic performance, designed with compelling reason to be different, and an uncompromising dedication to technical innovation. From our signature aluminum, to the gorgeous Nordic hardwood, to the sound dispersion of 180 degrees. This speaker is so powerful that it can fill an entire room.
Kathy, consumers have so many choices when it comes to choosing their home entertainment system, so why should they choose Bang & Olufsen?
Amber, for most of us, our homes are our greatest investments, and of course home theater is a big part of that. Any Bang & Olufsen product is a piece of art in itself, not only because of how it looks, but also because of how it performs.
Well, I know after being in the showroom for just a short amount of time, I'm sold. So Kathy, tell us about the showroom. It's such an incredible concept.
Thank you so much, Amber. We're really proud of the new store. Of course, Madison Avenue is the epicenter of luxury retailing for the U.S., and so it's perfect for Bang & Olufsen to be here. Our Madison Avenue showroom introduces the new global retail concept that evokes a true sensory experience and demonstrates Bang & Olufsen's commitment to providing extraordinary customer experiences. At the heart of this new retail concept is a dedicated speaker wall that showcases all of Bang & Olufsen's best-selling speakers. You can listen to any kind of music, including your own playlist, streamed from your smartphone, and check out the sound of every speaker from the smallest sound cube to the largest floor model.
Bang & Olufsen is a clear choice in domesticating technology. Bang & Olufsen wants to enhance your living space by seamlessly integrating your systems and your home. All of its products belong to a proud legacy of design and engineering, a statement of timeless excellence that ensures that each new generation is as compatible with the past as it is with the future. I'd like to thank Kathy Thornton-Bias, president of Bang & Olufsen America, for joining us on this episode of Designing Spaces. From the Bang & Olufsen showroom on Madison Avenue in New York City, I'm Amber Milt. See you next time.
To see this portion of Designing Spaces again, go to designingspaces.tv and click on the Bang & Olufsen video. You'll also find a link to the Bang & Olufsen website.
Things have changed for apartment residents, and it's all for the better. Coming up next here on Designing Spaces. Apartment residents today are living a lifestyle better than ever without the hassles of single home ownership. It's no wonder more people are making the move to lease their households. Designing Spaces visited one community to take a look at a growing trend.
1/3 of Americans lease their homes, and more people are choosing to lease because it offers freedom, flexibility, and a diverse set of options to fit their desired lifestyle. This is the Palmyra Apartments in Mason, Ohio, where you can find the modern approach to fulfilling the desires of today's apartment residents.
Before, apartments were often seen as a choice that people had to make because of economic means, and now we're seeing it as a lifestyle choice. They like the freedom, they like the flexibility, and they like the options that apartments offer them that you don't have when you own a home.
If the American dream is changing, with more choosing to lease their living spaces, then those living spaces must be more than what we think of as the typical apartment.
Apartments offer all types of amenities. In-unit amenities can be anywhere from chef-style kitchens to hardwood floors. There's concierge services from dry cleaning to package delivery to even pet grooming that can afford our residents additional time they wouldn't otherwise have.
When it comes to renting, the old adage, location, 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 is still very alive.
We're finding more and more that particularly young people want to be close to where they work, where they play, where public transportation is located.
Modern apartment living has much to offer. The demand for apartments is rising.
Over 1.1 million new households, rental households, had been created during this year, and they were estimating that by 2020 as many as 7 million new rental households will be created. That's a big impetus for our members, and it's a very positive sign that there is still strong and will continue to be strong demand for rental housing now and into the future.
Tessa Braun is the apartment manager here at Palmyra. She's meeting Jordana to show her around the property. First stop is the clubhouse here at Palmyra.
So this is our clubhouse area, and this is where we meet our prospective residents and help them find their brand new apartment home. So we actually have a wait list of about 160 people that are just rearing to move in.
Always a popular feature for residents is the on-property gym.
And this is available for residents every single day, 24 hours a day. It features state-of-the-art equipment, and so they really do have something for everyone here.
Tessa is showing me their fitness center, and we're looking at a yoga studio, which is perfect for someone like me.
So we have all of the equipment that they would ever need to utilize that space as well.
Many places offer their residents a lounge area, a place for residents to meet and participate in various fun activities with fellow residents, friends, and family.
So Jordana, this is our resident lounge. We have a shuffleboard table that they can utilize for more entertainment. And then as you see here, the gourmet kitchen. So they can also use this to cook and grab quick lunches, head out to the pool. And in addition to that, we also have walking trails, a 3-acre nature preserve, tennis court, basketball area. A lot of the residents will come here, grab coffee from our coffee bar in the morning and just sit and chat.
Jordana and Tessa visit one apartment at Palmyra to take a look at what one could expect to lease at a new complex designed for upscale living.
So this is your 2-bedroom apartment then?
Yes.
Okay, so exactly how many apartments do you have here at Palmyra?
We have 360 total apartments here.
Wow.
And we actually thoughtfully designed 14 different styles to choose from. And then additionally, last but not least, we have a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath townhome. And now that is over 1,800 square feet.
Okay, so this is absolutely beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I can see myself living here. I really can.
Great.
But I've got to ask you, now, do you guys accept pets?
Oh yes. All of our Hills communities actually are very pet friendly. And we thoughtfully designed all of our properties to include walking trails, green spaces, so that the residents can get out and enjoy the outdoors.
Well, that's fantastic. Okay, can I see a little bit more?
Absolutely, let's go.
Okay.
Yes.
Don't go away. There's more Designing Spaces coming up right after the break. Amy and Manny have been living in an apartment for years. Both hold down steady jobs and have good credit history. They're now at a point where they're considering buying a house for the first time.
We have a friend in real estate who's really starting to see her business pick up again. She told us now's a great time to buy.
Right now, we don't have the 20% to put down on the house, but we really want to make a move.
Is there any way that we could move into our first home without having to come up with so much cash?
Meet Teresa Bryce Bazemore, president of Radian Guarantee, a provider of private mortgage insurance. Teresa is just the person to answer Amy and Manny's questions regarding their first home mortgage.
Designing Spaces introduced us to Teresa Bryce Bazemore. It really opened our eyes.
Right now, we don't have the 20% to put down on the house. Is there another way to do this?
You don't need 20% down. You can buy a home today with as little as 3 to 5%. And there are a few ways to do that. The 2 major ways to do that are either to get government insurance through the Federal Housing Administration, which is called the FHA, and the other option is to buy your home using private mortgage insurance.
But what is the private mortgage insurance?
So private mortgage insurance is insurance that a lender would get on your behalf in order to allow them to give you a loan with less than 20% down. And it essentially insures them in case there's a default in the future. The great thing is that it gives you an opportunity to get into a home with less than 20% down. Millions of homeowners have been able to get into a home with a low down payment in an affordable and sustainable way. About 43% of the loans that we do are for first-time home buyers. And private mortgage insurance, like the insurance that we offer at Radian, has helped about 2 million people buy homes since 2008.
So what's the difference between private mortgage insurance and FHA?
So the real difference is that FHA is a government program and private mortgage insurance is private capital in the marketplace. So if something happens on an FHA loan and the fund doesn't have enough money, that money could come from the taxpayer. That doesn't happen with private mortgage insurance. Instead, private mortgage insurers like Radian are there to be able to insure your loan and allow you to get into a loan with 3 to 5% down. So let me show you an example. You bought a home for $250,000 and you put 5% down. Your mortgage amount would be $237,500. At the point where your loan pays down to $195,000, your mortgage insurance premium would be automatically canceled. In addition to that, if your home appreciates in value during that time frame, even by a small amount, you might even be able to cancel your mortgage insurance sooner than that, and therefore your mortgage payment would actually go down. One of the nice things about buying today is that while interest rates are low, you can get in and you can lock in your mortgage payment, but you can't lock in your rent right now.
If we were to get private mortgage insurance, how much sooner would we be able to move into a home?
Well, if you have 3 to 5% to put down, you could actually get into a home now if you have the closing costs to also close. And the great thing about private mortgage insurance is that it really does allow you to get in sooner. For the average firefighter or school teacher, it would take about 20 years to save 20% down.
How do we know that private mortgage insurance is the right choice for us?
You can talk to a lender and they can go through your financing options with you. Just make sure you ask about private mortgage insurance, and they can take you through what your payment options would be and help you assess that. It's very easy because they'll obtain the private mortgage insurance and it'll just be part of your monthly mortgage payment. For most people, it's cheaper to have a loan with private mortgage insurance than FHA. You'll also be able to get a tax deduction on the private mortgage insurance that you pay. And over time, as you build equity in the house, you'll also be able to have your mortgage insurance payment canceled.
How much is a private mortgage insurance?
So it really varies, and it depends on how much money you put down. So if you decide that you're going to put down 15%, then your mortgage insurance payment would be lower than if you put down 5%. So for instance, if you were to buy a home for about $200,000, you put 5 to 10% down, your monthly payment would be about $80 for mortgage insurance.
This could be the answer to all our problems.
How do we get started?
You can go to our website, which is achievethedream.com. Talk to your lender and ask about mortgage insurance as an option. They can tell you what amount of house you can afford and what your options are. Do me a favor, when you talk to your lender, ask them about private mortgage insurance from Radian.
To see this portion of the show again, go to designingspaces.tv and click on the Radian Group video. You'll also find a link to the Radian website. Our homes, surroundings, and lifestyles are all part of a rapidly changing world. New technology opens up new worlds of home entertainment, and some are finding the apartment lifestyle more to their liking. We are here to provide you with the information you need to create the living space you desire. We are Designing Spaces.
For more information about anything you've seen on today's show or to find out how to be part of the show, log on to designingspaces.tv. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/dspacestv. Or friend us on Facebook. Type in the words Designing Spaces. Connect with us on Pinterest to follow all of our design ideas and share yours with us. You can visit these websites to learn more about the participants on this edition of Designing Spaces.